Um, yeah, so we were talking about people. If you know Kim Yee Mah, getting Kim Yee Mah right now. Um, we were Sifu. I'm Sifu Z, by the way. That's Sifu Chad. We were just talking about people that like to criticize other people that suck. They suck, and then they like to tell how people that are better than them how they suck. Which I guess is a very, I mean, that's in all sectors, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, I mean, there's more to it too, though, because I think it's like an instinctual, like, male alpha sort of thing. And when you're behind an internet profile and you can't face somebody face to face, be it a video game profile or your Facebook profile or your whatever your social media thing is, or your internet social life is, you'll encounter these people who will troll you, so to
Yeah.
speak, right? And 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 the whole thing where what they say says more about them, right, than it says about
Yeah,
you.
right.
And
Right.
I feel like it's full circle to some of our past discussions, but it keeps popping up, right? It keeps popping up because it's it's something that we're challenged with as a social construct. Uh,
Yes. Yes. Well, we always got to remember smart advice or smart advice, weak advice and strong advice, kind of reminds me of weak and strong gravitational forces. Uh,
Magnetism, perhaps. I was just
yeah,
trying to think of another
so something
analogy.
within quantum physics there. But whenever you try to make similes with quantum physics, you get in trouble. So I'm going to stop it right now.
I'm not nearly educated enough in that to make any outrageous claims. So
Well, the funny thing with quantum physics is you can spend your whole life figuring out quantum physics only to find out that you don't know anything about quantum physics. Which, again, there is a simile to be had there. I think that is the most direct simile you can have with quantum physics is that anything in life that you learn, if you learn it well enough, you learn that you don't know anything.
yeah.
You know,
Uh,
skateboarding.
and if you can't explain it simply to a 4-year-old, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure there's now listen, if you're new to the Dirty Dojo, first off, no more 50-50. No more 50-50 ritual. You know why? It's got the numbers in it along with the word ritual. Like, who who was on crack and invented that, the 50-50 ritual? I mean, really? That's just no good. So from this point on, this is the Dirty Dojo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dirty Dojo. Right. I'm not going to pontificate. So if you're new to the Dirty Dojo, there are two things that you probably want to have, maybe even three. I don't even have the third thing, which is a mat. I don't have my mat with me right now. When it's raining, I have no place for the mat. When I'm carrying a mat in the top of my car, you look like somebody's living in your car. I don't know. I like to be more stealth than that. Um, but you certainly are going to need some water. There's a drinking show and sandbag. I kind of like these elements that we're working with here. Oh, you know what I mean? I mean, like water and sand.
Yeah, way.
I never even thought of it that way, but man,
Me neither.
the Dirty Dojo is just so organic. So, and then
Gluten
if
free.
and then you got canvas, nice hemp. This is virgin hemp canvas. Not really, but I would like some virgin hemp, and I would use it. And then this is a pure silver ring. It's solid silver, not really, but I wouldn't mind this solid silver. And it is very, very crafted, tied on there. Not really. I would like this to be nicely crafted, but you don't have to you don't have to be perfect. If you just got a sandbag and you got, a plastic bottle of water, you're good to go here at the Dirty Dojo. Man, this is going to work out, man. Like, I have not been able to weave in the conversation in these sessions, the 50-50 ritual. I mean, that 50-50 ritual, that's 7 syllables. 7 syllables. Dirty
We need
Dojo.
4, dude, because we count in
Dirty
fours.
Dojo. No. Listen,
Yeah.
no, you can. Dirty Dojo. Yeah, just one syllable. Dirty Dojo. Dirty Dojo. Now, I got some comments in here. I better read these before we get attacked. All right. If you have any questions that you'd like to bring to the Dirty Dojo, you can do that down below. I have no idea what the writing is. Yep, that looks like Russian or Chechnyan. I'm pretty sure that's
Which
a
is
Chechnyan writing there or something. I don't know what the hell that is.
language I'm unfamiliar with. She'll say hi.
Wow, there's a message. It's held for review. Jeez.
Yo.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah. Wow. You know what? I think because you didn't moderate, right?
No.
I wonder if Justin moderated that. Justin, if you moderated, thank you very much. If it wasn't Justin, then it was probably AI, which was really good. All right. So what do we do with these things? Well, for one, make sure you drink lots of water. Yeah, this is training, and so the things that you train when you train, there's an old saying. You leave the training in the dojo. So kind of what that means is you learn how to do stuff automatically through training, and then it happens. We were talking about that earlier, how you get it down to like the equivalent of a 1-word response, like bam, you get it down. So drinking water is a thing. You just know to drink water. I still don't drink enough water. So I know what a challenge that is for a lot of people to drink enough water and to stay properly hydrated, because I'm one of
There's water in my Coca-Cola.
them. I know plenty of water in that coffee. Hell, I should make more coffee. I'm parched. So now with the sandbag, we use the sandbag for for sort of weightlifting, right? For weightlifting, if you want a heavier bag, you just get a bigger bag, put more sandbag, or a lighter bag, lighter, right? All kinds of wonderful things you can do. And the grip, there's really strong grip. You help to create that grip. There's all kinds of coordination exercises you can do with your sandbag, all kinds of exercises you can do. However, this isn't stuff that was taught to me by Ip Man or Chris Chan to do. What they taught me to do with the sandbag is to do hand training. And the secret for using a sandbag for hand training is not hitting it too hard. Now, eventually, your fist gets really strong and you can hit it hard, but you don't really ever have to make habit of hitting it hard. It's the same thing with lifting, right? At a certain point, X amount of repetitions have no effect, right? Same thing with punching. At a certain point, punching it hard, too hard, doesn't have the kind of effect that we're shooting for in Wing Chun. We're developing proximity, feel, density, right? There's a lot of things going on here other than just bashing your hand to callous it, right? That's more of kung fu, old kung fu. Probably that's everyone else. But Wing Chun, I feel, is special in our use of the sandbag. Now, while we're doing that, you'll notice Sifu Chad has been in Kim Yee Mah this whole time. And Kim Yee Mah, again, to you guys that have been to the Dirty Dojo, also known as the 50-50 ritual, then you know what's going on here. Kim Yee Mah, the goat grasping stance, you're squeezing the knees together, the toes are pointed in. You had a triangle going on the floor. Your feet would be on that triangle with the toes, the trajectory of the toes pointing to a center line, which is in front of you. The pyramid, or the tip of that pyramid, comes up to meet your wrist. So if you are an indoor location, or you're on the beach or whatever, and you're trying to get this concept down, you can literally get some tape or some sticks and just make them long enough so when you extend your wrist and the invisible line that goes down to the ground, that would be the tip of the triangle. The triangle that you make on the ground. Am I being clear enough? Am I being too scattered in this communique here? A triangle on the ground. Your feet are on the two lines of that triangle with your toes pointing to the top. Is that clear?
Yes. Your heels are at the corner bases, and it goes whoa, tip
Yes.
there, heels here.
Yes. Now, this, for physics purposes, is very important, right? Because this is going to be going through our point of contact. So let's say the target is here. Our fist goes through the point of contact, not touching the point of contact, but through the point of contact. So, and that is going to be where the top of the pyramid is, that the top of the triangle, right? And the physics in that is important because you have, when we pivot, we've got a really strong line that we can follow through. Same thing here. Really strong line we can pivot through. Yeah. Rarely are we doing something like this, right? Yeah, this is exercise, folks. This is exercise, right? You wouldn't be standing in front of somebody and going, do. Yeah, that's why Wing Chunners get made fun of, right?
Pew, 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 pew.
Ping, 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 tink, 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 tink.
Yeah, it's supposed to be just a kaboom.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Now, that's not to say that you can't make contact, right? but typically you want to get out of there, man, right away. You want to get out of there. You're going wham, right? Or wham, and you're coming here. Maybe you're switching your stance. You're moving around, man. I think
Mm.
one of the dangers of doing Wing Chun improperly is you kind of get into this Kim Yee Mah, and you're standing there and you're used to standing, right here. And you do what you train a lot of, right? So again, I won't go into the naked Wing Chun story, but if all you've done, like you're done a month of Wing Chun, you're doing a lot of this, and then all of a sudden you get into a fight. Oh, that's a little embarrassing now, isn't it? Yeah, you might as well just take your clothes off because you're naked. You're standing here. You're naked. But this is exercise. This is getting you strong. This is also showing you that position. But this Kim Yee Mah works most powerfully as you're pivoting. When you're pivoting, when you're switching stance, when you're pivoting, that's where this Kim Yee Mah is really strong and applicable. It's useful then. Here, this is just mostly exercise. It's not that you couldn't use this, right? I mean, you can use it to protect your groin, but even so, if there's somebody kicking here, you're going to want to turn, right?
Yeah.
If someone's pushing you, you're not going to stay here. Somebody's pushing you, you're going, whoa! See, I had a curb behind me, so that was perfect. That was a perfect demonstration, right? You want to be able to get into to mobilize, right? Mobilize.
Yeah, you
So
don't want to
being
just
right here,
fall back on the
this is
curve.
also good. Maybe if you did wind up on your ass, and now you're using your Kim Yee Mah more in a grappling sense, and your connection is you're manipulating them now with your feet and your legs and whatnot,
Right.
using Kim Yee Mah. So there are exceptions, but in
Yeah.
general, Kim Yee Mah, you're doing this to get strong, pulling up. There's a lot of nimlik. There's a lot of different things going on here, structure-wise, internally, externally. But the use and the function comes from when we pivot. And then from pivot, we learn to shuffle step. We shuffle step in Wing Chun. We shuffle step. Right? Can move side. What we don't do is, we're not doing this. This is a form of shuffling. It's kind of like a nervous jump shuffling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's use to it, right? If you're
Yeah.
right on your feet like this and someone punches you, then you're kind of not grounded so much. And you
Right.
can kind of float with the punches and stuff.
Hmm.
But, and so, this is a good, to me, and if you're going to fight somebody, self-defense, right? This would be more of a ruse than a tactic, right? Because we
Yeah.
want to kind of get right in there, like you said, real quick,
Yeah. And we
get her
don't
done.
necessarily want to telegraph. And when you're jumping around, you're definitely showing some telegraph motion. Especially
Well,
when you're jumping forward and
maybe
back, and
but
you
you
want
could
to
be
go
faking,
forward.
right? I mean, I could be
You could
like,
be
whoa,
faking.
whoa,
You
whoa,
could be faking.
like
Yeah.
that, and faking you. So it's a tactic, but like I said, in self-defense, I'm thinking it more of a ruse. Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to fight you the way you fight, the way you want to fight. You want to box? Okay. You want to stand up? Okay, let's go. It reminds me of that Key and Peele routine. the two fighters, and they're like, yeah, okay, you want to fight? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then,
Yes.
all right, ready? Anyway, it's like, yeah, you're gonna fight them, but then all of a sudden you're like
yeah,
Madonna, you strike
yeah.
a pose,
You could,
strike
yeah,
a
you could jump
pose.
around and kind of like bluff them in a way to where they don't, they kind of expect, what they're seeing, but you're gonna deliver perhaps something a little bit more Wing Chun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you're gonna get inside because Wing Chun is inside fighting. So
Right. Yeah.
you're gonna do the stuff that inside fighting does, and yeah, but you're not like you said. Now I'm connecting with what you said, which is um well, what is it that you said? I don't want to misquote you.
What had I said?
Oh, okay, good. All right.
What had I said?
Whatever you said, there's the conclusion. You can
Jumping and
yeah, see,
telegraphing,
no, I had
or
responded to what you said, but just sort of elaborated, and now I've come full circle and sort of agreeing and reiterating with what you had said regarding.
ah,
But it doesn't matter.
gosh, it's
Yeah, it doesn't
crazy.
matter.
I can have such a good memory, and then like 2 seconds ago, I can be like, "What? What did I say?"
So,
Oh, jeez.
but in our wonderful thing about Kim Yee Mah is you can get in this position, and at any point, if you're waiting in line instead of just standing there all lock-kneed or whatever, go ahead and get a little stance training in. Yeah, you couldn't do that with horse stance. You imagine waiting in line and going, "I want to get some."
You start sweating so fast.
Well, you start sweating pretty quick this way. I once had a job with IBM. It was IBM or AT&T. I think it was IBM. No, I think it was AT&T in Hawaii, right there in Waikiki, the AT&T building, I think it is. And I was doing data entry, and I figured I'm gonna make money by training, right? Because that was the whole thing. It wasn't so much to have a job and all that. It was like I'm going to be in Hawaii, but during the day I'm going to be in air conditioning, and they're going to pay me to train. I'm like, I'm in. So I fictated my resume and got the job, and you know, and and so I'm like, got that chair out of there, and I'm like in my little cubicle, and I'm like, right. And then I started. They called me into the office, and they're like, yeah, they're the other um, workers are complaining that you're really well, you're smelling. Yeah.
uh,
Because I'd be in there, and I'd be sweating and like,
Now, in when I was a lifeguard, I did the same thing in my tower on like the super rainy days where it was just like storming and nobody was on the beach. I would just sit in the tower, man. Just stand in the tower rather. I keep them on the tower all day. Uh,
So it was funny because in a very short amount of time, they had already seen, in Hawaii, they saw that I was more management material, and so they had already started putting me up for management. So when I came, so yeah, when well, they were complaining, and yeah, I just walked into the office and said, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm out of here." They're like, what? Like, how, huh? And we were just I'm like, "Yeah, I'm done." They're like, "Okay, what is this? Your 2 weeks?" I'm like, "No, I'm leaving right now." Like, because if I can't do this, then I can't do this. I need
yeah.
to be able to do this. So you can get an amazing amount of exercise from just Kim Yee Mah. I've shown this with a heart rate monitor, how you could just stand in Kim Yee Mah and raise your heart rate up as if you were running uphill. Um, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to get another heart rate monitor just so I can do that, demonstration again, because I think it's a very powerful demonstration to show you don't need to be going. Okay, girls. Okay, girls. That's 1 and 2 and 1.
And punch and kick and
Yeah.
punch
Hey, I
and
do that. Let's not let. I don't want to cast aspersions here. I do that, but I'm just saying you don't have to do that, right? You could just. In other words, there's no excuse to not exercise as long as you can stand. You can do this.
yeah.
Now, I'm gonna tell my favorite story for archival purposes. But I had contracted MRSA staff from cage fighting in Humboldt, and I had almost died from it. So I think the biggest, I think there was more casualties from MMA and cage fighting and jujitsu from staph than anything else, right? And I thought it was a spider bite. It was staph. I had gone in late, and I was going unconscious and stuff in the hospital, and they had me hooked up, and um, when I was laying down in the hospital bed, I was doing Kim Yee Mah internally. In other words, I would even come out of come to consciousness, and I'd find myself laying there in Kim Yee Mah, really just holding it together and fighting, um, even in unconsciousness. So it worked out for me that I did many, many, many hours of Kim Yee Mah, where my muscle memory, not my brain memory, had taken over and did the right thing. It's exactly what you want your martial art to do. You train in it, and then it just allows the right thing to happen when it happens. You're not reacting, you're acting. Action is always faster than reaction. Reaction is much slower than action.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so in Wing Chun, we have the saying, no punch, no grab. No, I have the saying, no punch, no grab. Um, but you're really not reacting. I think in Wing Chun, everybody knows it as we don't defend. Our defense is also an offense. So that's another way of saying it. I don't think it's as succinct as how I'm saying it, but it's still the same thing. Um, Anything you want to add to that, Seafood Chad?
No, I was listening intently and following along with following along with that. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I could add. I had a ligament tear in my ACL in my MCL, and yeah, Kim Yee Mah. I didn't do any other exercise. I didn't do any calisthenics. I didn't do any weightlifting, any running, swimming, surfing, any of it. For 3 months straight, I learned Sium Tao and just did Kim Yee Mah. And next thing you know, I couple days I forgot which leg was injured. I felt good again.
I don't think you were in Kapiolani Park when we were training in
No,
there, but there's
no,
a
I
guy
wasn't.
named Carl. He was about 6'2", and he's actually a trampoline instructor. So he did tramp stuff, which was really cool. But he had gotten into before I knew him. Or no, he was training Wing Chun, and he got into a motorcycle accident and shattered his leg in many
Oh,
pieces. and his whole leg was in a freaking halo. You know those halos with the pins and everything. It was
Yeah.
gnarly, and he comes into class and he's now I can't remember if that's how he started or he started class and then got into the accident. I don't remember, but in any case, I said, all right, let's use Wing Chun to fix that. Now, I had no right to even assume that Wing Chun could, such an assumption. But my assumption was correct. They told him that he wouldn't be able to, 6 months. They gave him 6 months or something. I think doing Wing Chun and Kim Yee Mah, I'm pretty sure it took no more than a month. It might have
No
even been
way.
like, yeah, it might have even been less. It was like
Wow.
mind blowing. What was also mind blowing is how he didn't continue training. But at the same
Hmm.
time, some people are very self motivated. So it's like, man, Kim Yee Mah, that's all I need. He's 6 foot two. All he
Right.
needs to do is go just squash you, So you add
Yeah.
that with Kim Yee Mah, he's good to go, you know. But it
Right.
does surprise me that, in fact, it surprises me all the way down the line, perhaps even down to myself, how you learn Wing Chun and then kind of walk away from your community. And
Yeah.
maybe it's a testament to how Wing Chun sort of gives you a certain sovereignty, a certain amount of freedom from people. You know, um, maybe
Yeah, I
it
think
has
that's
something to do with
huge.
that.
I
Because
think
that's
that's
why
huge
for me,
because right, yeah. I mean, I felt similar. Um, it's like once yeah, when I first started training, I didn't plan on training all the way up until now, which I still am. Like I didn't plan on, sticking around, right? I was like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
just
you're
gonna
going to
learn
learn
up
it and
to
move on, right?
yeah. I was like, I'm gonna learn up to Mook Jung, and I want a wooden dummy to Mook Jung, and then I'll leave. But then next thing you know, I learned Bart Jom Do, and then 9 foot pole, and then Chi Na, and then you know
Yeah, yeah,
I stuck around, but eventually, we had a time where we all kind of split, and Wing Chun really does allow one to have that confidence in yourself and independency to take it with you and be like, oh, I can take this with me anywhere and
yeah, yeah.
apply it to everything,
Hmm.
and I think that's the huge part is being able to take it with you and apply it to everything, and maybe it's not so much as the postures, but also the mentality of the integrity of your thinking in Wing Chun, right?
You know what though, the postures is the integrity of the thinking. The postures are
Oh,
the
okay, okay.
physical, the geometric representation
Yeah,
of that.
yeah, because I mean they'll have their meanings, right? Like the dividing hand, right? The cultivating hand, all those definitions are part of the Wing Chun way, should we say it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. uh and
Yeah.
again, like, Madonna, strike a pose. I don't mind. Hey, I don't mind making fun of my own art form. It's like, here we are, you're supposed to fight, and then all of a sudden you just strike a pose. But it really is that, and it's a hit song too by Madonna. Why do you think it's a hit? Boy, there's all kinds of metaphors going on here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a
Uh,
pun in that?
triple entendres. You know, uh, it's a hit. All right. So, okay, if you have any questions regarding grounding Kim Yee Mah, mobilizing Kim Yee Mah, that's pretty much what this whole Dirty Dojo session has been about. Leave it in the comments down below, and rather myself or Sifu Chad will be able to respond. I'm not going to say answer, but we'll be able to respond one way or another. This has been brought to you by Sifuz.com. That's spelled Sifuz, not Fuz. It's not Fuz, it's Sifuz because we're in America. Yeah. Okay, just get that right, Euro. Yeah, Sifuz.com. That's the place to go for a practical method of self-defense and a sustainable method of fitness. See what I did? I turned it around there. I turned it around. Yeah, you go there. You can train for free. We got tons of content up there to get you started. And then if you want to get serious, if you want to join the community, the core of the Dirty Dojo, you can do so over at patreon.com/Sifuz. Now, remember, Sifuz, as I spell it, is capital S, lowercase IFU, uppercase Z, all one word. I know that's a lot. That's a lot. I know. It's against all the rules to have to say so much just to describe yourself. But yeah, Sifuz.com, that's the place to go. Or patreon.com/Sifuz. Watch your spelling. Watch your mouth. No, watch your spelling, rather. And this is also brought to you by our fine sponsor, Zeigler8.com. That's Zeigler, the number 8.com. That's the place to go for all things Z. That's me, your fine sponsor. Yeah, you're welcome. And this is also brought to you by Sifu Chad. I wouldn't be able to do this without Sifu Chad. So I have to just constantly remind everyone and Sifu Chad how awesome that guy is. He's awesome. He's awesome. This guy here, he's an awesome guy. I like him. He looks funny, but you get past that, amazing. If you haven't done so already, go on over to Chad Ventures. Chad Ventures, he's got a channel over there. It rocks. It literally rocks. Just go over there. You'll see what I mean. All right, we do the Dirty Dojo. Man, I just love that name. We do the Dirty Dojo. Do the Dirty Dojo. D-D-D-D-D. Do the Dirty Dojo. We do the Dirty Dojo every Friday, time willing, tech willing. We usually do it at 8:30 or no, 9:30 California time. We had to do it earlier today due to some obligations I have to take care of. So we'll see you next week. That's next Friday, 9:30 a.m. And thanks for hanging out here at the Dirty Dojo. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Train at your own risk here at the Dirty Dojo. All right.